Hello all, welcome to another episode of In Car Series, episode 10. Just getting this set up again briefly. I'm on my way to my work. I've got to stop off at Co-op to get just a quick bite for my lunch. So, let's get chatting on. Yesterday it was Halloween. That was 31st October 2022, Monday, Halloween yesterday. So I was working, I was driving the buses yesterday night on Halloween through Curtin, Dundee's housing scheme, Curtin. And Curtin had riots yesterday. It was absolutely nuts. It was just madness. The police closed off the road. The police were there with their riot gear, the riot shields. It was just something like what you would see in a war zone. It was, but they were throwing fireworks at the police, lighting fires in the middle of the roads, yes, plural, roads. So the buses had to be diverted. But I was able, at one point, they were telling the buses not to go down Balgillan Avenue and go on Gilburn Road. But by the time I got there, it had changed. Balgillan Avenue had opened to put the fires out, and then they started to riot on Gilburn Road. So I was driving through. I mean, they were still letting traffic through at this point. And I was able to see the riot police, and it was just mayhem. And this was on Halloween. I mean, it's not even Guy Fawkes yet, and there were big fires and fireworks going off. They were aiming them at the police and everything. I saw the aftermath, but when I was driving up there, because I wasn't told, I was still under the impression that the Balgillan Avenue was closed off, so I was following the diversion route. But they didn't realise that they'd opened at Balgillan Road and they moved up to Gilburn Road and started rioting there. So I saw a firework just coming off the road, bouncing off. They were aiming it, obviously, at everything, traffic. There was wheelie bins set on fire and put onto the roads. I was just absolutely bonkers. So it was absolutely nuts. Last year on Guy Fawkes at Curtin, they had a massive fire, and it's the same sort of thing. It was like riots, well, not so much riots, but they were aiming fireworks and throwing them around. And it's just madness. Yeah? God knows what it's going to be like this year for Guy Fawkes, which is this Saturday, by the way. But Saturday I've got a wedding to go to. I'm invited to go to a wedding, and later on Saturday I'm going to be setting off to drive down to Buxton for the bus and coach banger racing down in Buxton Raceway. So I'll be leaving probably about 8:30. However, if I've got enough time, I can maybe squeeze in an hour or so. If I leave, if I leave about 7:30 from the wedding, maybe go to Curtin and see what's going on up there, see the sort of rampage and riots, if any. Because last year it was just mayhem, big fires. Oh gosh, it was something. But if I could get a chance, I'll maybe get some footage of that and just show you. I've got footage I've taken last year, but I'm not putting that online because I'm just keeping it private at the moment. But the stuff that I show online, I'm not showing much. I'll just show the fire, you'll hear the fireworks. We're just throwing them off. I heard that it was set a car on fire or something. I don't know just the full story of that, but I can't. If I don't know something for sure, I can't say it. And there's things obviously I have to keep. I can't talk about publicly, so I won't be doing them. But I'm not going to be naming anybody or anyone. But just in general terms, like if anybody was driving through Curtin yesterday, it was like a war zone. There was a helicopter as well. Police helicopter was out there. It's on Google. You go into Google, right? Type in Curtin fires, and it'll come up. There's news articles, BBC news article, and somebody took footage from their house window. Footage of fireworks being aimed at the police, and the traffic police. The riot police were standing in a line with their shields up, and their riot shields, and they were aiming fireworks. You saw the fireworks getting aimed at them. There was footage of somebody, or there was a picture of somebody jumping on a car or cars. There was reports of them jumping on cars, but there was one image of somebody, appears to be two, jumping on cars, from the riot and that. And there's this video footage taken from a resting house that's showing fireworks being aimed at the police and everything. But I'll put up some. I went back there that night after, it was about midnight, because I was working last night and it didn't finish till about quarter to midnight. And by the time I got to Kirton, it was still at this side of midnight, so it was still on the Halloween side of midnight. I got there just before Halloween ended, which was about 12, it was 23:52, about 8 minutes left of Halloween. I got up to Kirton, and they were kind of like, there was not much going. The police were still there, the fire brigade were there, all the fires were kind of like out, and the gangs were away at this point. But they had the police up at the St Paul's School. That would be their command centre. They were all sort of the police, the ambulance, the police, the fire brigade, loads of police cars and police vans, and they were all, I think they were debriefing or something, because they were all at the car park at St Paul's High School on Gilburn Road. It happened on Gilburn Road. The fires first started because my message came up on the messenger ticket machine on the cab, telling me that the buses were diverted, and that was about back at 6, I think. So it was going on for hours, this riot thing. It was just mayhem, fireworks and bins getting set on fire. I've got footage of a motorbike, the remains of a motorbike that was burnt out in the middle of the road. Obviously it had been just dumped in the road. They probably put a cloth in the petrol. The petrol tank on these things, you would never take the cap off and put a match in it, because the fumes would just blow up in your face. So they probably would have put a rag in the petrol tank and set the rag on fire to give them enough time to get away from the blooming thing before it explodes. That's what I guess that they would have done. I guess they would have put this old motorbike in the middle of the road, put a rag in the fuel tank like that, so they've got enough. It's like a fuse, they've got enough time to run, because you would never ever open up a petrol can and put a match in it, because the flash point, the vapours will ignite before it'll just blow up in your face. Because the minute you take that lid off, the petrol has got it evaporates very quickly, and the vapours, Christ, I shouldn't be telling you, common sense, it's actually safety if you don't mess around with petrol. Right, I'm gonna get caught up and get a bite from my lunch. Bear with me a minute. Right, so I've got to do, I got my sandwich and so I've got to get from here to park somewhere about Constitution Road, because it's unrestricted parking there, and then I'll walk down from there to Commercial Street, where I go on my bus from the first half. I'm doing the 23 route. Lovely. But yeah, that was just absolutely bonkers yesterday. Absolutely bonkers. Madness. Oh. It's like a scene from a war zone. Oh, it's just... And on Halloween of all days. I mean, there's something strange about Halloween. It was 30 years ago. 1992. October the 31st, 1992. I was 17 and a half. And gangs that got on, I was going round in the buses at night. I used to travel in the buses at night. That was a Saturday night, and like teenagers now are obviously, early 20s, are much younger, so than me. what I am now. But back in 1992, they were older than me. So it felt like I was basically going round on the bus for I huddle on the bus at nights because I like the old buses. Gang of teenagers got on and they went upstairs. And on the journey from the town to Whitfield housing scheme, they were chanting and jumping about and everything. And by the time we got to Whitfield, they actually kicked out the windows upstairs. We were just frenzied, absolute frenzy. And I was a lot younger. Well, I was only 17 and a half, so it felt quite scary for me, because they were older than me. They were probably they might have been the same age to me, and maybe older, so it felt a bit more intimidating. I was sitting downstairs. All this carnage was going on upstairs. Second seats, front seats out the windows. That's actually done later on other buses. But they kicked the glass out, and the rubber seals, the gasket seals for the windows, so you were seeing them dangling down because they'd peeled them off and just thought they'd try to throw them out, and they were dangling down the side of the bus. Well, the bus was driving through Whitfield because there was gangs in Whitfield as well. So there was a gang upstairs on the bus, there was gangs in Whitfield, and the driver had to keep going. Radio was in at this time, and the police was awaiting at the terminus, where there was another gang, probably about 35 of them, and probably about 30 upstairs, and there was another 30 outside. They were throwing stuff at the bus. Well, those that were upstairs were kicking the glass out. Now, like I say, they were older. They're probably older than me, so I felt really intimidated. It's quite scary actually. But I was sitting downstairs. Nothing happened. No, it didn't get any bother on it. Nobody bothered me. I was downstairs back, right in the back left. There was other people on the bus downstairs as well, and they'd be shocked. But that was Halloween 1992. About the back of 10 at night. It was the last bus out of Whitfield. Well, it was the last bus to go from Whitfield back to Minas Hill. So it was about they got on in the town about the back at 10. The time we got to Whitfield, it was near 10:30. And of course, with all the delays and everything with what was going on, it was getting on for 11 o'clock. On a Saturday night in Whitfield, I remember, I'll never forget that day. It was bus 49, Volvo Elsa bus 49 that got it. Like I say, because I'm much older now, to me I would just refer to them as a bunch of kids, I wouldn't feel quite so, I'm 47 now, so I don't quite feel so intimidated by teenagers, although I wouldn't underestimate it, because you don't know what they carry. You'd be carrying knives and that. I wouldn't want to. You always be careful. But because I was a lot younger back then, it was, pretty more dramatic. But when you get older, you just say, it's kids. But yesterday was, I don't know, I wouldn't want to get in the way of it. Like, I certainly wouldn't be saying that, I don't think, because it didn't really, I don't know how old. When you're in big groups like that, you could still feel pretty intimidated, But it's pretty scary, even now, because you don't know what they're going to carry. I mean, you think, it's just kids, but then they might be carrying knives or throw fireworks at you. You know all about it if you get that in the face. Glass bottles, broken bottles. But so yesterday was just, the police with the riot gear would have put it into perspective just how. There was a helicopter as well. I might have mentioned that. There was a police helicopter going about, shining the spotlight down. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely bizarre. Yeah, just because they're young teenagers and you're getting older, I wouldn't underestimate. I still wouldn't want to, I'll gang up on you. It doesn't matter how old you are, but back then in 1992, it was worse because I was young myself, and they were probably older than me, so it felt even more intimidating, But like yesterday, I wouldn't have fancied being hit in the face with a firework. I spoke to one of the police officers as well, because the buses are getting better now, and she said that they were chucking petrol bombs as well, petrol bombs, you know. Now, that is serious stuff, like, when they're throwing petrol bombs. That's what she says. You know, fireworks and petrol bombs. So that's just mental, that. It's not what you'd expect to see in Dundee, that's for sure. It's definitely not what you'd expect to see. It's not. That is a rare occasion. It was just, as I said, it was just like something I watched. But yes, Halloween, it's quite an odd. I don't understand this, but I kind of felt there was something going to happen. I was going to see something that night, yesterday night. I can't explain these things, but you just get a feeling. You know, I was driving around earlier on. It was a clear night. There was a lot more people. Halloween is much more hyped up now than what it used to be, and there was lots of people with their costumes on. I've never seen as much like that before. But certainly within the last couple of years, Halloween's just totally gone right, hyped up big time. Whereas before it was just, you know, on the night. Halloween, you would see the geysers out at night, penny for the guy, and that was it. That's what it used to be like. When it got dark, they would go out with a mask on, maybe just a few, you know, hats and stuff. There wasn't so much fancy dress. They would be out till, I don't know, they'd see them out and about, just going about asking for a penny for the guy, and that was it. But now, God, they've got houses that are all done up with Halloween costumes. Just groups of people going about with Halloween costumes on all weekend, all that Friday and Saturday and Sunday. People going about, the big build up to Halloween. There's a big build up to Halloween. It was never like that before. It would be maybe a build up on the night before, and that was it, in preparation for the day. And that was what it used to be like. But now it's just gone completely off the scale for getting hyped up, like, you know. But Guy Fawkes, on the other hand, in Dundee, they're not going to have an official Guy Fawkes display from the council. The council isn't going to do that now for some reason. In Dundee, they aren't. I don't know. Since 2020, they haven't done it. Well, that was like 2 years ago, and they still have no plans on having a firework display. So to me, that seems like they're going to have, people are going to be more inclined to have their own private ones. Oh, there's an unmarked police car up my head, just pulled this van in. No, come on, I was going to turn the camera around and show you, but I better not. Because the rules are now, you can't touch it. I better not anyway, because it certainly wouldn't be identifying the police number plate, but it's no big deal. It's just an unmarked car. It's just pulled a van in. But I better know. I was going to have a bite to the sandwich, but I better wait on it this side. But of course, that could be anything. It could be the vehicles untaxed or uninsured, because the numbers have got these APB cameras now. All they do is the number plate. Once your number plate gets flashed up on the camera, it'll show if your vehicle's insured, taxed, MOT, etc. All your details will come up. These cameras are everywhere. They could be on the backs of unmarked cars, they could be on CCTV, anywhere. And now, if you've got like issues with that, they could pull you over. So, make sure it's not like the days before where you could drive around without attach this in without insurance. You know, it's all digital, you know, it's all on a database. So you get nabbed for sure, like. And on Constitution Road, and got to get a space. This is just a nightmare, this. I can't even tell the double yellow lines with all these leaves on the road. Oh, there's that a space here, but it's double yellows, but there isn't. Yeah, it's clear there, letting get in that one. There's leaves covering the double yellow lights, but I just happen to know because I'm local. So if you weren't local, what's the scenario there then? Because visitors, right, if they park there, they wouldn't know that there's double yellows. It's like if it's snowing, see if the roads are all covered in snow, how would you know if there's double yellows? If there's no sign saying, because there isn't at this particular part, well there are, but it doesn't show you the extent of the double yellow lines. So if you're a visitor, right, and the roads are covered in snow and leaves, like leaves in this instance, how are you going to know that you're on double yellows and what isn't it? How would you know? Without having to get a shovel and dig it. And no, I mean, you're on a steep road like this, put your wheels in to the curb, just as a precaution. This is a steep embankment. Constitution Road in Dundee. It's right next to the old college, Constitution College. This is a derelict building. I wouldn't mind doing an adventure in there sometime. Easy peeps, right, I better go. Right, so just see what else I put on my channel. Just thought I'd mention that. If I remember, I'll put a wee pop up with the footage of the fires and that in Curtin. I got there out in one bit. I got it alive, but I say I went back there at midnight. It was all out by then. The road was still smouldering away where the fires were on. Multiple fires on multiple roads. So the police presence was still there well after midnight. But this is big, pretty big stuff, you know. This is like, you know, right off the scale for just saying kids throwing fireworks. Because it came up on the messenger on the ticket machine. It was kids throwing fireworks. But when I got there, bloody hell, police, riot police and everything, helicopters and everything, big groups of people wondering what was going on. And Jesus Christ, it was mad. It was just like a scene out the war zone. Never would have. Dundee doesn't see that very often. It's not something you would expect to see in Dundee. But you'd expect that in other big cities where it's known to have riots and stuff. But some American cities, and I've seen news footage and heard footage of riots going on in London and things like that, bigger cities. But in Dundee, bloody heck, you know, absolute madness. It was just like. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll if I remember, I'll put a wee pop up or something on the screen, show you roughly what it is. Okay, catch you later on. Bye for now.